Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Strength Students podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Carty.
And I'm your other co-host, Nick Scopoletti.
And we're here at Radio City Music Hall.
No.
Right across at Hartford.
Weightlifting Wednesday.
Weightlifting Wednesday here today. We have a great show for you guys today. Today we have our eight.
Should have counted beforehand.
I knew it was 8, but I remember we added one, but then we added it to a different one. So I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, we have our top 8 points,
from MySpace.
If you will. Yeah. Our top 8 hits on MySpace.
Top 8 friends.
The top 8 cues, if you will, the top 8 things to think about when you are preparing for any competition. So whether it's a powerlifting meet, a CrossFit comp, weightlifting meet, bodybuilding show, which we could talk about because that's a little different. Maybe a little different.
Very different.
Very different. So we could talk about it. You could probably talk about it a little bit too. But
whether you're
main points, if you're competing in anything, just main things.
If you're about to meet your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents for the first time.
Exactly.
We could talk about that.
This stuff would probably work for all that.
Actually, yeah. I made a joke, but yeah.
Some announcements for the Strength Students podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube page. Go like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. Everything is at Strength Students Podcast. iTunes and Stitcher. Go ahead, leave us a 5-star review. That'd be greatly appreciated. And leave some comments. We want to hear what you guys think of the show. And
we want to talk to you guys. We don't have friends of our own, and we want to talk to you.
Comments. We love it. And 5-star review on those guys, iTunes and Stitcher.
Steve's going to throw up on the microphone.
Make sure you guys go to our YouTube page. Check out a squat fix video that we just posted with Dave Rule. Awesome video. Dave's a smart dude. That video actually came out really good. So
yeah,
we went
helped
over
me a lot.
Yeah, we went over a bunch of things, man. The main thing I think we got from that was if you tend to have that problem where you're kind of bending over at the hips and like hinging over at the hips when you squat and your chest is kind of coming forward, Dave showed us a lot of really useful things to overcome that. So go to our YouTube page, check that out. There's also a little bit on our Instagram with that as well. So check that out. Congrats to Mike Martell, the winner of, what was it, crowd favorite at
the powerlifting meet at Hellbent Barbell.
Yeah, so the Hellbent Barbell meet that we were a co-sponsor of. One of the sponsors of.
Yeah.
We had our little prize pack with our little Strength Students podcast bag. It was dope. Had gangster raps in it from Mark Bell. Not from him, but like.
No, he mailed it to us personally.
Had chalk in there. It was just a bunch of prizes in there, and the prize was given to the crowd favorite, which was our buddy, man, Mike Martell, the fucking luchador, dude.
Dude, he was the greatest. He would, every time right before he would do a lift.
Back up.
Fuck you. Every time he would do a lift, he would put on fucking luchador mask like Rey Mysterio and then do the lift and then do something after it. I was like, yo, because I knew our prize pack was going to crowd favorite. And I remember going to Jenna, who's Mike Skiba's girlfriend, who also lifts at Hellbent. I was like, so this dude's definitely going to win crowd favorite, am I right? She was like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. He was so nice. Turns out he's like an actual luchador.
He is actually a luchador.
Like, it wasn't for show.
So we're right behind the line of dudes ready to go lift, and all of a sudden this crazy huge dude,
so big,
throws on this golden luchador mask, and we're like, all right, I guess he's gonna lift in that. He does his thing, whatever, and he gets the award at the end, and we take a picture of him, take a picture with him, and we're like, yeah, man. So like, what do you do? Where are you from? He's like, yeah, dude, I actually got that mask because I'm an actual luchador in Mexico. So he actually is a wrestler who wears that mask in Mexico, which we thought was hilarious. So
and he's competed in MMA. He has like a 15-1 record.
Yeah.
I looked him up. Yeah, he's like legit, like knows how to fight. Like,
yeah,
and he's huge.
Scary guy. So that was fun. So yeah, congrats to Mike Martell, and the Hellbent meet was awesome.
So
push
fun.
Pull meet.
Yeah, got to talk to seeing Mike and Jenna. Of course, is always awesome. Our boy Brandon Bukla, our chiropractor at ATP Chiro.
Yeah.
He competed.
Yeah.
Did quite well. He didn't really train for it. He just showed up and ripped it.
But he did pretty well.
Dude, yeah, he weighs 160, pulled like 450 something. Not
Hashtag
training for
past
it.
guest, Brandon
Yeah.
Bukla.
He's awesome. And then we got to meet also Vin DeCenzo, future guest, hopefully. He is he's the man, dude. I followed him for a long time. He's hit some crazy, like he's hit this is geared, he's hitting 900-pound bench, and just like the nicest, most humble dude I've ever met in my entire life. He's like, hey, you guys should come lift in the basement of my house. We're like, what? Hell yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, bro.
So hopefully have him on. And we got to meet a bunch of cool people.
Yeah, met some fans, some people listening to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, one dude has just been training in his basement and like did one meet last year. This is the second one ever.
Killed it. Chris.
Yeah, coolest guy. Dad. He's got 2 kids. Like, yeah, I got to run to my kid's football game after this.
Yeah, he was super dadding it that day. That was funny.
He's super nice.
But yeah, overall, awesome meet. Very well run. My favorite was at the end when like Skeep is cleaning up all the stuff. He's like, boom, 12 o'clock, done quick. It's like, all right, man. Yeah, we all like that too. Cool.
Yeah.
But very efficient, very fun. Congrats to Hellbent.
Yeah.
Awesome turnout there. So good for them.
Yeah. That was
very cool.
awesome.
Good for them. Updates, man. Training updates. How's it going with the hormones?
I feel great.
Oh, yeah?
I feel really, really good. I texted Allie
Why?
last night. Just feel good.
Oh, hashtag future guest. We got to get her on, man.
We do. I just feel really good. I don't know. Doing the circuit stuff, I think, I always focus so much on, like, just want to lift heavy, do my bodybuilding accessory work, and get out. But, like, it's hard to do circuits. I train alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, having to do, like, a circuit or anything like that by myself is kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But I've been forcing myself to do it, and I fucking love it. I think just, like, there's something about that, and I think that's why people get into CrossFit is, that primal, like, you're like, oh, my God, I'm pushing so hard right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to die, but you're not going to die. But you feel like you're going to die. But, yeah, I just feel really good. Diet's been on point. Down 2% body fat.
Hell yeah. There you go. So what, you just haven't been eating carbs too, right?
I've been, what am I at? Less than 100 a day. If it comes from sweet potato, I've been actually doing probably less than 70, to be honest, just because I don't really need them. I don't really like them so much. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, now I don't want them.
And it's helping you?
Yeah. Just been having, like, sweet potatoes at night before I go to bed, and that's
See what happens, everybody? You go see a specialist, they tell you what to do, and you find out what works for you, and that's what you do.
I ain't guessing no mo.
Exactly. It's not necessarily like, hey, see, carbs are bad. It's like, no, for this dude, not having carbs has been helping him along with these other things. So make sure you go to a specialist, find out your shit.
Yeah, I kind of knew that. I was just being a bum, but not a carb guy.
I actually talked to someone about that again this weekend. This is a common theme here on the Strength Students podcast. Someone who talked about how they supplement with B vitamins, which ironically we just talked about on our show.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, because it's good for this and it's good for that and it's good for this and your skin and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, right. That's all true. But do you know how much you need to be eating or consuming? And has anyone ever told you, or have you seen anyone? Have you got a blood panel taken? She's like, no, I just, it's good for you, so I just take it. It's like, okay. Whatever.
Enjoy your remaining years. No,
we really encourage you. Go check that shit out. See how much of this stuff you need, man.
Just get blood work done, man.
Yeah,
makes my life simpler. It makes my grocery bill go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, meat and vegetables and healthy fats? Cool. Save about $100 a week now.
My training's going pretty well.
No one fucking asked you.
The biggest thing for me was my back injury, because now it's very easy for me to have a bad training day or a bad training week. And after going through such a shitty, difficult time period where I couldn't do anything because of my back, it's easy to get back in that frame of mind of, man, that sucked, or that could have been better, or that should have been better, I should be stronger, I should be faster. It's now easy to go kind of into like the like the database in my head and pick out the thoughts of, hey man, at least you're training. Like, you're not paralyzed anymore.
Hey, remember when you just would lay on a heating pad
exactly.
for 2 hours?
Remember when you couldn't do anything? You had to
for months.
Exactly. You were just doing like ring rows and stretching. At least you're training. So it's actually been good, and it's interesting. I look back on the injury and it's over now, which is nice, and I'm still rebounding from it. But it kind of gave me this gift of gratitude, of like, hey man, at least you're not there. Because I'm not saying it's the worst injury in the world, but a lot of people who suffer with back injuries or have had back injuries, it's a whole different ball game. You know, you can't do much. If you got a lower body injury, it's like, all right, let's just do upper body shit. If you got an upper body injury, all right, let's do lower body stuff. Your back is like everything bothers you, every way you turn, everything you do. So it was tough, but again, not the worst thing in the world, but it is tough because that's the center of your body. So being able to reflect on that and say, hey, all right, maybe you didn't get the score you wanted or lift the weight you wanted today, but at least you're training, man. Could be worse. At least you're training.
Putting points on the scoreboard.
Exactly. All right. I think it's time to send some news. Get ready for this, America. I'm about to send you some news. Oh my God, it's huge. That could be like a soundbite that we do for this. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God, it's huge.
Like, bling.
Yeah. I like that shit. Remember that. All right, our news that we're sending you guys this week comes from an article on T Nation written by Fuck My Ass. I didn't write it down. Damn it.
He's a great guy. He knows his shit. Fuck my ass. He's a doctor of physical therapy.
Yeah. So T Nation, an article I saw in there, it's actually about some, I guess you could call it. So the way he titled it was Mike Sheridan who wrote it. The way he titled it was "Vegans Suck at Science. Here's the proof." Which, okay, that's
Dude,
just to get.
Why would you say that?
That's to get you to click on the article.
Clickbait.
To me, that doesn't reflect my views, but the actual article itself is it goes through like 6 kind of myths of what has been said about meat and things that have come out about meat, and he kind of busts them and kind of gives his take on it, and did a lot of research on. Clearly knows what he's talking about, but has a lot of research articles cited and things like that. But the point of the article is not, to me at least, the point of the article is to just be able to take this second look. If you are someone who's like super, super vegan and super, super against meat from a dietary standpoint, maybe take a look at this, right? Like maybe take a look at this and see some of the points that are being made, and kind of look at the other side of the coin, because to me, as far as the whole vegan thing and as far as eating meat, right? If you're doing it for moral reasons, like you don't like the
animals,
the treatment of animals and stuff like that, I'm with that. I get it. There's not much you could say with that, right? Because it's pretty much a fact and they're treated like shit. So if you're doing it for that reason, okay, I get it, fine. But if you want to argue it from a physiological standpoint, as far as all these claims that have been made, like inflammation and cancer and things like that, a lot of that shit is considered, especially at this point, propaganda. And I believe it. Big company like PETA, I mean, that's what big companies do. That's what big corporations do. They're
talking about processed meat.
Exactly. And that's the other thing too. I'll let you guys go read the article. Definitely check it out. It's definitely a good read. Kind of opens your eyes a little bit about what's really going on in your body with meat. But one of the things that really stuck out in my head was a lot of these studies that are being done, like they're lumping in like hot dogs and pepperoni and all this shitty processed meat with like grass-fed beef and good meat, and they're combining that and just calling it just meat. This is all meat. So
yeah,
definitely an interesting read. Go check it out.
Or my favorite
whether
argument,
you're a vegan or not.
My favorite argument is I started eating like a lot more vegetables and I feel so much better.
Yeah.
No shit.
Look, we're not saying don't be vegan. We're saying just go give it a read, check the article out, look at the other side of the coin, right? Because yes, there are benefits to being a vegan and eating more vegetables and fruits and things like that. That's awesome. But there are also downsides, just like there are to everything. So check it out, give it a read. We're not saying you have to change your mind. It's just an interesting take on like meat. Meat's been getting beat up, man.
Oh man.
Wow. The meat has been getting beat up. The meat has been getting beat.
That was by accident.
The meat has been getting beat. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from our commercial break, the one commercial
Sponsored
that we have.
by Big Gay Ice Cream in Philadelphia.
Literally a place in Philadelphia. Great ice cream. When we come back, we'll talk about our eight tips for preparing for a competition. Be right back.
Okay.
Want more of the Strength Students podcast? Go check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, make sure you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and on Stitcher. Stitcher, I just met her. Welcome back, Strength Students podcast, and we have our 8 tips when preparing for competition. Whether you're a weightlifter, whether you're a power lifter, whether you're a strongman, whether you're a bodybuilder, which we'll kind of go into specifics of each, but whether you're any of those things, or
whether you're female,
an endurance athlete,
yes,
or like you said before, if you're going to meet your
significant other's
parents for the first time, this shit will work. Even studying.
I think this is a big thing.
But let's just keep it as strength and conditioning. So,
no.
Our number one tip, organize. Okay, so make sure you're organized. Big one with this, what we were talking about off camera, is traveling, right? So if you're like traveling somewhere, staying at a hotel, whatever, not even staying at a hotel, just traveling somewhere, make sure you have directions. Make sure you know like how far away that hotel or wherever you're staying is from, wherever you're competing. Or if you're not staying somewhere, make sure you know how far away you go and you give yourself enough time to prep before you get there. So that's the first thing. Make sure you're organized. Make sure you figure out where this thing is, where, how far away, right? So answer that question, where, and just all the information revolved around where this thing is.
Yeah, maybe like go to, say if it's in a convention hall or if it's in a school or at a college or whatever, like go there.
Go, yeah.
The day before so you know where to go, like where to walk in.
Yeah.
If there's security, figure out where you got to go for the meet. Tilt. All right. Figure out where you have to go for the meet. You want to be like, oh yeah, I think it's around here. It's whatever. Then that day of, you're like, wow.
Yeah, you're like,
oh, I don't think it's here. Oh wait, no, it might be in this room or this building. Oh shit, the Uber's not gonna come.
Yeah. Like you roll out of bed an hour before the comp. You're like, no, I'm gonna pull it up on my map, see how far it is. 2 hours away. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Make sure you get that shit handled before. So organized.
Know where the bathrooms are.
The other thing with organized too was bring the shit that you need, right? So don't assume that they're at this event, location or gym or whatever is just going to have the stuff that you usually use. Like if you use a band to warm up, bring a band. If you use a foam roller, bring a foam roller. If you use like everything, bring everything you need. Make a checklist of like literally things you need to wear, things you need to use to warm up.
Food.
Bring all that shit, yeah. Consider food, definitely.
Your dick.
Yeah, bring it all. So organized. Definitely first thing you should do is make sure you're organized. Tip number 2. Get your sleep and your relaxation in order. Okay, this is definitely important. I would even say, yes, the night before competition or the day before, but I would say the week leading up to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The entire week before competition, make sure your sleep's on point.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
I would always take like, if I was a couple days out from a comp, I would like purposely like fix my work schedule, which I have that luxury, so that I would have time to nap during the day, like a couple days out, just because I knew like if I didn't, I would be fucked. So
yeah, sleep's just big, man. I mean, there's a lot of stress as it is surrounding competition, especially the week leading up to a competition. And I mean, the science is there. We're at this point where everyone knows like how important sleep is for your stress and stress hormones. You don't get enough sleep, you're not recovering or repairing and sleeping right. That just means more stress is going to just flood. And you don't want that, especially leading up to a comp. So make sure you sleep and also relax. You know what I mean? Like do some relaxing things. I'm not a proponent of getting a massage like the week before or the day before or the week of, but just doing relaxing things. You know what I mean? Like relax your mind, relax your body. Don't be too stressed throughout the week.
Get a hand job.
Well, we talked about that a little. Maybe stay away from sex.
It's up to you.
Up to you. Whatever works for you. If that's something you do regularly, fine. But again, along with the sleep, a lot of science out there, man. A lot of science out there talking about, just the release of your hormones and testosterone levels and things like that.
Women weaken legs.
Yeah, it's a great quote. I personally, for me, just whatever works for you. For me, I know if I'm, getting busy or whatever, if I do it before a training session or before a competition, like
I've been there.
I'm just going to be too relaxed. I'm not going to be on it. I'm not going to feel as powerful. I'm not going to feel as strong. So for me, stay away from that sex, B.
I'm the same way. I used to do before football in high school. We had one kid on our team who ended up being an all-state linebacker who before every game, him and his girlfriend, he had to. It was like tradition. And he always played amazing.
They fucked.
And I was like, yeah, they fucked. and I was like, I gotta try it. Tried it. Worst game of my life. Like I just felt like shit. But like that was his thing. He had to do, and he was a great player. So
it helps for some people, but yeah. And as far as relaxation, like just do things you enjoy too. Yes, it's important to focus in, but like do some other shit too during the week. do things you enjoy. If you have hobbies, go do that stuff. Like, distract your mind a little bit too, you know? Anything else about sleep, relaxation?
Nah.
Point number 1, 2, what are we on? 3? Point number 3, make sure you taper your training. Somehow.
Taper?
Somehow. So don't max out.
I think Steve has a good example of this. Steve,
I did this.
Can you elaborate for our people?
I think it was actually the last weightlifting meet I did, which is a while ago, but last weightlifting meet I did, man, I maxed out my snatch the Saturday before the meet, and lo and behold, my snatch was awful in the meet the next week. It was just
Did you fail that snatch too, like a couple times in training, then got the max, right? Didn't you like fail three times and then you finally got it?
Yeah, but it wasn't a weight I attempted. It was heavier than the weight I attempted in the meet, but I was just shot for the meet.
Right, yeah.
It was just too heavy. So, dude, make sure you taper your training, man. Like that week, the week before training, right? So that whole week, cut it down to like 70%. Or if you're not working exclusively with percentages, or, you know, working with, weights and strength percentages and things like that, just cut down your intensity, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you have a super intense week planned or coached out for you, mapped out for you, just cut the intensity down. Be like, all right, instead of 30 of these, I'm going to do 15.
Yeah. There's some people too that'll, hit their openers and then be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe do that. So in the beginning of the week, train as normal, just a little less intense, right? Cut the percentages down, do the normal stuff you do. Then I would say a couple days before your event or whatever it is, do like some empty barbell stuff, right? So if you're an Olympic weightlifter, do snatches and clean and jerks with the empty barbell. That way you're moving.
Yeah, you got to keep moving, if anything.
Don't
just
not
be
do
like,
anything.
Hit
Don't
my
be
openers, and then for 4 days you sit on the couch.
Exactly. Don't say, hey, my competition's on Saturday, so this week of training I'm just not going to do anything. That way I'm completely rested. Don't do that. Move. Don't get your body accustomed to not doing shit, because your body will just be like, oh, we're not doing anything? Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's just chill. Don't do that. Move. At least move with the barbell, especially a couple days before the event. Just move with the barbell. You know what I'm saying? If you're a power lifter, move with the barbell. What would you say for like bodybuilding? What was that like for you when you
have to stop?
Flip. Hey, Flip.
What's up? One thing you have to do, I know for competitions, is a week out from your show is your last leg day. So if you're to do your last leg day.
So like don't do legs that whole week.
No.
Interesting.
Don't you're at your rope's end. So you do your last leg day should be about a week out. Mm-hmm. You do not touch them the rest of the week.
Word.
Then other days are just kind of like pump stuff, upper body, do what you feel. Don't try to hit a fucking new PR.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
No, don't do it.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no PRs should be trying to be hit.
Don't try to burn it down to the ground. This is the week of you gotta train hard, but the week of you're chilling, and I believe you're done lifting. So if I had competitions on a Saturday, I was done lifting on a Wednesday. That was my last day of lifting. And then you just chilled, and you eat, and you did cardio, you kept moving. But that was it. You did not do anything resembling a heavy workout a couple days out.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus you're carbing up, usually, if you're super depleted. So you need all that stuff to get into your muscles and get into you already beat the shit out of yourself. At that point, you did all the work. It's just about showing up, and hopefully it all comes together in time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely don't be going hard in the paint that week leading up. Even like
don't
a
listen
week
to Waka
before.
Flocka.
Yeah, just chill, right? No Waka Flocka. Don't max out your snatch. Don't max out any of your lifts. Just take it fucking easy, man.
Yeah.
Let the dogs out on the day of competition, not the week before.
Hayes in the barn.
Hayes in the barn. I don't know the rest of that.
That's it.
Oh.
It's Coach Lato.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but all right.
It means you did everything. Hayes in the barn.
Oh, yeah, Hayes in the barn.
Nothing you could do now.
Nothing else you could do. Hayes in the barn. Great way to end that. All right, number 4. Find your source of motivation. Now, this is probably something you should do way ahead of time, but if it's not something you've done, that's okay. You can still find it the week out or a month out, whatever. Find your source of motivation, all right? So why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you competing, right? That's going to help give you some perspective going in.
Yeah.
For example, if your source of motivation is to win the entire thing, win the entire competition, or win the entire meet, then that's going to help you set the framework for how you're going to go about preparing for the competition, how you're going to execute, what numbers you're going to try to go for. It could be anything, strength numbers or running numbers. If If you're an endurance athlete, things like that. That's going to set the whole mindset. That's going to change things completely, because now you're going to be competitive with other lifters. What they're lifting is going to influence what you're lifting. But another example, if your source of motivation isn't to win the entire thing, if your motivation is a little more intrinsic, like, hey, I want to just go experience my first meet, then that's going to change things as well, right?
Yeah,
and especially a good coach, if a good coach knows that about you, knows, hey, what's your motivation? You know, I just want to experience my first meet. Then that coach, things are going to change. You're not going to be competing with other lifters. You're probably not going to be cutting weight, which we'll talk a little bit about more. You're just going to probably go and lift. If it's a weightlifting or powerlifting meet, your goal is probably to just go 6 for 6, or in a powerlifting meet, 9 for 9. Make sure you hit all your lifts and gain confidence, and that's it. You're not competing. You're not, playing clock games with the other athletes, or adjusting your weights depending on their weight. So this is important. This is an important part. Identify what you're doing and why you're doing it. Is it intrinsic? Is it extrinsic? You trying to win something? So that's an important thing as well.
Yes, I would agree.
What would you add to that?
I think you kind of nailed it, man. I mean, I know all I could do is speak from personal experiences that, with bodybuilding going into my first show, I went in saying I have to win or else I've blown it.
So how would you change that? Would you
Absolutely.
do something differently?
I went into that show, and this was in our first episode I talked about, but I went into that show. This is my first show ever. Not only was the prep a nightmare, that's a whole other story, but that day I remember thinking to myself, like, I have to win. All my friends are here. I'm going to look stupid. This is going to be on Facebook. Like, these are the thoughts that were in my head. Not even like, this is my first show. I've never done this ever before in my entire life.
Yeah.
This is the most ripped I've ever been in my entire life. I took no positive because I was an idiot. I was 24 years old. So I took no positive out of it. I looked around at all the other guys and said, oh, my God, they look so much better than me. I look like an asshole on stage. And then the photos come out, and I looked better than some of the guys I should have beat.
Yeah.
But according to my coach at the time, and he was right, I wasn't holding poses. I mentally wasn't there because I thought I sucked and I was embarrassed, and I wasn't holding poses and doing things the way I should have been. And if I did, I could have placed better. I ended up getting 5th out of 14 people, so I got top 5 first ever. And
Top five.
First time ever in a show. Should have easily got at least 3rd.
Word.
When I looked at those photos, I was like, fuck.
But the point being, like, especially from the perspective of your friends, like, dude, none of your friends are expecting you to win or anything like that. Like,
this is the pressure I put on myself, which is so dumb. Like, you guys were all in Vermont. That was such a fun weekend. Like, it was so cool. I should have just been like, oh, this is great. And then in my second show, I went in with the thought of, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this was fun.
Yeah.
It's over, and I did everything I needed to do, and here
Boom.
I am. I didn't do as good. I didn't look as good, but I had a better mindset about it, and I went in knowing, like, you're not going to win, but, this is fucking fun, and you did it, and now you can enjoy the rest of your summer. That was, like, how I thought of it.
Exactly. All right, number 5. And this ties in a little bit to the last point we made, and this is also where the benefit of having a coach comes in, is realistically mapping out your desired outcome, right? So realistically say, hey, all right, how do I want this thing to turn out, right? So you have your source of motivation. So now what are the like measurables right now, right? So for example, what are the weights that you're going to hit, right? What's the opening weight you're going to hit? Is that realistic? What's the next weight? Like, literally have all your lifts mapped out. And this may seem like common sense, but I'm telling you right now, this is something that I didn't do my first meet, and it fucks me up. I was just like, I'm going to just show up and you lift, right? And I get there and they're like, yeah, what's your opener? I'm like, I don't
Opener?
know. Exactly.
I just met her.
So this is an important thing, and this is where having a coach really comes into play too, because they have the ability to step back and look at things a little more objectively and help you make a better assessment of, all right, well, what's realistic for this meet? Is your opener going to be like your PR? No, your opener is going to be something that you're going to be able to roll out of bed and hit.
Yeah.
No problem. But then it gets a little more tricky once you start getting into all right, well, hey, I'm trying to win this meet. Okay, well, we need to be a little more strategic with your weights then. If you're this weight class and you're trying to win this weight class, then okay, we're going to have to hit this, and this. Versus if you're like, what, I want to do really well, I want to just hit all my lifts. Then okay, well, what are your lifts? Okay, then let's hit this, and this. challenging weights for you, but things we know you can hit. That way we know you're going to hit all your lifts and that's what you're going to achieve. So, find that source of motivation first, like we said at number 4, and then number 5, realistically mapping out your desired outcome. All right. Number 6, mindset stuff, right? So get your mindset right. And this is things like, meditation, practicing like positivity and gratuity, right?
Yeah.
But also visualization, which is huge, right? Any athlete in any sport, the best ones can visualize. The best ones can visualize stepping up on that platform and hitting lift and visualize the feeling of having it over your head or squatting that weight or, the noise of the crowd or the feeling, like being able to visualize every detail of hitting each lift or, winning, so-and-so class or winning so-and-so race, whatever it may be. If you could visualize the outcome that you want and stick that in your head, and have that repeat in your head, that's going to be a super valuable tool going in mentally.
That goes with conventional sports too. There's plenty of pro athletes and there's studies that have been done. I know John Welborn spoke about this, about how he just thought like football wasn't fast, which you'd say you're an offensive lineman in the NFL. Like football's fucking fast.
Yeah.
But for him and a lot of these guys, they just see things come slower. They're able to focus, be in the moment. Like you just said, that visualization of like, it's 1, 2, 3, fucking hike, and some dude who's 300 pounds is sprinting at you, and you have to go backwards to match his speed.
Yep.
Like that's a fast sport, but he's like, I saw it all, man. Like it's just everything felt really slow and kind of easy. And then that's why some guys don't make it to the next level. Like they're just not. They're not able to see the speed of the game or adjust to the speed of the game. It's too fucking quick. So yeah, I think the visualization thing is huge.
Number 7, rehearse, right? So rehearsing what you're going to do. So this is big too. This kind of goes with visualization, I would say. Rehearse the pace of everything. How is this event going to go? Like as far as the time in between things, the time before you start, the time during breaks, the time after, the time in between lifts. Really try your best to simulate these things. If it's like a powerlifting meet or a weightlifting meet or like a strongman comp, like try to get people around you, man. Try to feel what it's like to lift and do things when it is quiet, or or if people are around, etc. Whatever. Exactly. Yeah. Are there distractions? Are there not distractions? Rehearse that shit.
Yeah.
So if the example I could give is an Olympic weightlifting meet. A good thing to do would be like a mock meet, and you could even do a mock meet a couple weeks before. If, like we were saying before, if it's like a week out, don't. But do a mock meet, man. Rehearse that stuff. Take your 3 snatches, take time in between, an average time in between. Take your 3 clean and jerks, take breaks in between, etc. And just get into the flow of rehearsing. Because if your body and your mind, the more your body and your mind practices, the more prepared it's going to be.
Jesus.
So,
I could say, for bodybuilding, the one thing I was not prepared for that I thought was going to be the easiest part was the posing and being on stage. Oh, cool. I'm just going to flex my muscles and be on stage. Nah. It's hot on stage. You have other guys next to you. You have distractions. You have people yelling. You have to wait for commands. You have to listen to what pose you have to hit. There's a lot of shit. One thing I know, a guy I'm friends with as a bodybuilder, he used to do posing in the sauna. Practice to go through his whole routine in the sauna. So when he got on stage, it was like cake. You know what I'm saying? Holding poses for longer than you're supposed to. Like, 5 seconds, good. No, you got to hold for 30 seconds because there's 9 other guys on stage, and the judge has to look at all of them.
Yeah, that's insane.
You can't just be like, I did it. Boom, there you go. That's not how it goes.
Yeah, that's wild. I like that.
They'll ask you to repeat some of the same stuff too.
I like that, the posing in the sauna. I like that. That's a good idea. That's a great idea for up there. Because, dude, especially I've never done it, but everyone I've heard, the lights up there are super fucking hot too.
It's hot. That's what I said. Yeah, the lights are hot.
Fucking hot.
The lights are hot. You're an inch away from a bunch of dudes next to you. You got to watch out. There's just,
Number 8, and this is my favorite. Don't fix things. Okay, so meat time is what you were saying before. What is it? Haze in the barrel, dude. Haze in the barn. Haze in the barn. don't try to fix things, guys. Meet day or competition day is not the day to try to like fix your snatch technique
or to take a new supplement.
Yeah, or to like all that stuff too. Take a new supplement. Use a new piece of use new sneakers or a new belt. Like, dude, don't try to fix things. You either know it or you don't.
I just got these shoes. I'm gonna try them today.
And this is a big thing I see with coaches a lot too. If you guys are coaches, if you are a coach of an athlete or have a coach who coaches you or whatever, your job as a coach on meet day is not to, every time they come off the platform, be like, all right, well, this was wrong. This is wrong. Let's try to do this. Make sure you sit back more. Dude, like Jay Layton said, competition day, game day, all he is, everything looks, that snatch looked great. Everything looks good. Yeah. Dude, you are there to just help, encourage, be there to coach, not fix everything, because that shit should have been done while you were training.
Yeah.
And meet day is not the time to be crunching your mind with all I need to do this with my hands and this with my chest. Like, no, dude, just go and perform. You should be thinking as the least amount that you could.
Yeah, if you're in a competition, chances are you already know what's happening, right? Like, they're not just like people that are like, I'm just going to sign up, but like you kind of know what's going on, so just go do it.
Exactly.
Just go do it.
Yeah,
Nike.
Go do it. Don't try to fix things, man. I'm telling you, you're going to get so overwhelmed, and if you're trying to do new things on the platform, it's not there. Fix that shit during training. If it's not, don't try to fix it. Don't try a new stance or a new supplement.
Don't try to fix it.
Oh, and the other thing is not trying new shit. The other thing, too, is with warming up and nutrition. I mean, whatever you eat during the week leading up to training most days, eat that on the day of competition. Don't try like what you were saying. Don't try like a new supplement or eat something different. Like, what everyone always says, the world famous, infamous, like, carb load before like an event. It's like, do you usually do that?
Right.
Like, don't try new shit, man.
Right.
And with warming up, we talked about this on a previous episode. How much time do you spend prepping and warming up before you train? Do you spend an hour? If you don't, then don't spend an hour doing that before a comp. Don't be doing all these new like techniques and tricks and new warm-ups. And if you during training take 15 minutes to prep and warm up, then take 15 minutes to prep and warm up before your competition.
Yeah. I have a great story that I heard. I think actually Andy Galpin maybe said it a while back on Barbell Shrugged. There was a fighter that kept losing fights. Like, no,
that was
right.
What's his name at Perform Better? That was
oh yes.
It was.
It wasn't this year. It was last year.
No, it was last year. It was Dan John.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
The MMA fighter. Yeah.
So this MMA fighter used to killed it in practice. Like, everything looked so good, and then the day of, they're like, what time do you get to the venue? He's like, like 6 hours before. Usually I start like warming up and foam rolling. And he's like,
yeah. And it's like,
how long do it take you to warm up in your training? He's like, I use 10 minutes and then I just go. And he's like, all right, well, don't, like, he was doing stuff for 6 hours.
Don't make that mistake.
Like, I got to be there. And I get the anxiousness. You're about to fight someone.
Sure.
I get it in the sport. Like, you're about to go to, battle. Everyone's going to see it. I understand. But that was like the perfect example. Like, what do you usually do, man?
Yeah.
Get on a foam roller 6 hours before you got to fight and then keep doing stuff?
Dude, move how you usually move, eat how you usually eat, and warm up and prep how you usually prep. Don't go crazy. Don't go off the deep end. Don't go trying new things and new supplements and like, I bought all this new equipment for meet day. It's like, don't do that. Yeah, so that's our 8 tips for prepping for a competition.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I'm just going to flex these biceps.
Pretty much it. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure you go to iTunes, Stitcher, leave us a 5-star review. Go to YouTube, leave us some comments. Give us some likes. Go follow all of our stuff on Facebook, Instagram, at Strength Students Podcast, and we will see you next episode.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Is that what we're going to do?
Told you.